This lesson is to demonstrate oral tradition in Native American culture, more specifically in the Sioux tribe of Minnesota. The name Sioux means little snakes. The Sioux were nomadic in nature, but they settled primarily in the Midwest. Famous figures of the Sioux culture included Chief Sitting Bull. Sioux made use of their resources. They wore the skins of animals and they hunted for food. They have strong tradition in using powwows to unite the community. Oral tradition has had significant historical meaning in Native American culture. Some, though, question if the youth of today will continue to use this to transmit information to future cultures or future generations. Diane Glancy, who is an author of Cherokee Descent, defines oral tradition as the following. Stories of resilience, defiance, power, vision, toughness, pain, loss, anger, sarcasm, a humiliation built on welfare, a human built on irony. There is awareness of nature in the spirit world, respect for elders, families, children running everywhere. Tell me who your relatives are, and I will tell you who you are. A way of life that involves sharing and relationships, stories in which time is not always linear, but circular, and not so hurried and defined as white time. Oral tradition is the form of communication used to transmit aspects of one group or generation to the next. Its primary focus is the human element. It is important in the preservation of history. It can teach things that may be spiritual, scientific, or cultural, but it is unlimited and can be used for anything. A component of oral tradition is the use of myths. The key focus of mythology is to teach creation. Myths represent the relationship of humans and non-human-like figures. Although myths are religious, history, philosophy, and science all began with this method of teaching. Another type of oral tradition is folklore. Folklore is purely fictional, and it can take place anywhere, but is always associated with a time and place in history. It teaches the means of coping with the world. Legends have historical significance. Legends use characters such as heroes, warriors, kings, and saints. Legends don't include things from fantasy or the fantasy world, but they may have miracles. There are many characters and roles in oral tradition. First, the tricksters or clowns. They were mischievous, and they took the shape of animals. They are almost always male. Tricksters appear through all Native American stories. Creating uncertainty is the primary role of the trickster. The Sioux people talk of Iktomi, which means spider. He was a negative character role model in Sioux storytelling. Another common character is the mythological or culture hero. This character has many powers and is usually the most important component in stories. They can form the earth and sky and also have the power to create life. Language and fire are the most important aspects to the cultural hero. The Sioux believed Rabbit Boy was a hero born from the blood of rabbits. The power of twins in mythology. In the Sioux culture, twins typically worked together in alliance, but they also can represent duality, good versus evil, right versus wrong. The most important of all characters in oral tradition is the Great Spirit, or the Master of Life. The Sioux refer to this deity as Wakan Tanka. The Great Spirit is not like human man. He has created all life. He is not visible, but is a positive force in all stories. Shared beliefs among tribes include believing that the components are woven together to form Native American mythology. The second deities are often reflective of natural elements. Native Americans believed that storytelling was seasonal. The Sioux did their storytelling during the cold and snowy winter. Tobacco was customary in storytelling and was very important. It was considered to be a gift and used as part of rituals. It was used to show respect for the spirits that lived in the stories. There are also differences in oral traditions among Native Americans. Native American oral traditions are typically related to the first members of a specific tribe, including their heroes and deities. The naming of these beings vary between tribes. Mother Nature had a critical role in stories. Nature worship represented the idea of spirits being connected to all living things. An additional belief was animism. Animism is one of the oldest historical beliefs. It believes that all forms of life, natural forces such as the moon and stars, were believed to have souls. Part of why the Sioux Indians did their storytelling in the winter is the belief that when animals were dormant, they could not hear sacred knowledge or use it inappropriately against the storyteller. The Sioux further believed that all living things were sheltered or protected by a world tree. In addition, Wakanpi were invisible beings who worked through the Great Spirit to please that deity. The elders were men or women who typically were the oldest in their families and in the tribe. Elders are well known and are wise and spiritual leaders. They are also called narrators and more recently have been referred to as virtual teachers. The elders are keepers of vast knowledge. A quote by Luther Standing Bear from the Lakota tribe. These stories were the libraries of our people. In each story there was recorded some event of interest or importance. A people enrich their minds who keep their history on the leaves of memory. I will leave you with a famous Native American lore of the Sioux Indian tribe called The Forgotten Ear of Corn.